From the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. After the Sabbath, as the first day of the week was dawning, Mary Magdalene and the other Mary came to see the tomb. And behold, there was a great earthquake, for an angel of the Lord descended from heaven, approached, rolled back the stone, and sat upon it. His appearance was like lightning, and his clothing was white as snow. The guards were shaken with fear of him and became like dead men. Then the angel said to the women in reply, "Do not be afraid. I know that you are seeking Jesus the crucified. He is not here, for he has been raised just as he said. Come and see the place where he lay. Then go quickly and tell his disciples, he has been raised from the dead, and he is going before you to Galilee. There you will see him. Behold, I have told you." Then they went away quickly from the tomb, fearful yet overjoyed, and ran to announce this to his disciples. And behold, Jesus met them on their way and greeted them. They approached, embraced his feet, and did him homage. Then Jesus said to them, "Do not be afraid. Go tell my brothers to go to Galilee, and there they will see me." The Gospel of the Lord.
Alleluia, 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 alleluia.
Well, again, happy Easter to everyone. And as we celebrate Easter, we're beginning a brand new message series titled Groundbreaking. Now, if you're a visitor or a guest, just so you know, for our preaching, we take a topic and we delve into it over a series of 4 or 5 weeks. Groundbreaking. A groundbreaking event is something that has never been seen or done or made before. It's pioneering. A groundbreaking event is something so unique that it may shock us or even surprise us. A groundbreaking event can change the course of history. It can change the way people look at life or even change the way they relate to one another. Here are some examples from recent history. It was groundbreaking when the Wright brothers flew the first airplane. And look, no overbooking of seats on this flight. This changed everything, everywhere, forever. It was groundbreaking when we put a man on the moon. It had been the stuff of dreams and science fiction until it happened, and then suddenly the universe seemed just a little bit smaller. It was groundbreaking when the first telephone was invented, groundbreaking when the first iPhone was released. iPhone 7, not so much. Well, Easter celebrates the most groundbreaking event in history. Groundbreaking in every sense of the word. The impact is still being felt 2,000 years later. Billions of people, over a third of the world's population, are gathering this weekend to celebrate the life of a Jewish rabbi who never wrote a book, never held political office, never starred in a movie or had his own YouTube channel, never traveled more than 30 miles from his home. He should have faded into obscurity. Yet somehow, the whole world has been changed by the person of Jesus Christ. How's that possible? Well, it all comes down to Easter, the groundbreaking event we celebrate today. But unlike some of those groundbreaking events I put on the screen, Easter was barely noticed when it happened. No photos, no press conference, no rollout. Easter began with a discovery by a very small circle of people. Let's hear how Matthew described it in his gospel. But in order to understand just how groundbreaking Easter was, we have to back up a couple of days to Good Friday. Jesus was beaten and nailed to the cross. And towards the end of that day, Roman soldiers came to Jesus and saw that he was dead. but just to make sure, they thrust a lance into his side. Beyond any doubt, Jesus was dead. It looked at the time, by all appearances, as if whatever small mark Jesus of Nazareth made on the world would quickly disappear. His closest followers all fled in fear. They were convinced it was finished. And after Jesus died, two men, Joseph of Arimathea and Nicodemus, they took his body, they quickly bound it with burial cloths and spices. That was the Jewish custom. It had to be done quickly because sunset was coming and the Sabbath was beginning. And they put the body of Jesus in a tomb. The following day, Saturday, was the Jewish Sabbath, so all of Jesus' family and friends would have been mourning his death, struggling to come to grips with just how quickly it could all turn from that triumphal entry on Palm Sunday. So we pick up the Easter story from there. After the Sabbath, as the first day of the week was dawning, Mary Magdalene and the other Mary came to see the tomb. Now, why were they going to the tomb? Well, as I said on Friday, Jesus had been buried in a hurry by a couple of men. The women figured if the men did it, it couldn't have been done right. So they were going to fix the job. Nothing groundbreaking so far, right? But then this happened. And behold, there was a great earthquake. For an angel of the Lord descended from heaven, approached, rolled back the stone, and sat upon it. An earthquake, literally groundbreaking. An angel descending, heaven breaking. The guards, who would have been seasoned, professional, highly trained Roman soldiers, were so shaken by fear with this that the gospel said they became like dead men. They were totally paralyzed by something the likes of which they had never, ever seen. Then the angel said to the women, "Do not be afraid. I know that you are seeking Jesus, the crucified. He is not here, for he has been raised just as he said. Come and see the place where he lay. Then go quickly and tell his disciples he has been raised from the dead." So first a groundbreaking earthquake, followed by an angel from heaven. Then this unbelievable, earth-shaking message, Jesus has been raised from the dead. Could this day get any more incredible? Yes. As they were running away with excitement to go tell the disciples, Jesus appeared to them and said this, "Go tell my brothers to go to Galilee, and there they will see me." And that's what the women did. They ran to find the apostles who were locked away in the upper room out of fear, and they shared the news with them. How could they not share it? This groundbreaking event had to be shared. People had to be told. They knew that their lives and the lives of everyone would never be the same. All because of that Easter morning. After Jesus appeared to the apostles, they began to tell anyone who would listen that he'd been raised. And they preached to thousands of people in Jerusalem that first day. And they kept proclaiming it again and again and again. They could not stop talking about the groundbreaking event of the resurrection. Why did they do it? I mean, in a worldly sense, they gained nothing. They didn't make money by telling others about Jesus' resurrection. They certainly didn't gain any political power by preaching about it. In fact, just the opposite. Their lives were threatened. They were arrested, put on trial. They were beaten. They were flogged and stoned. The reason why they did it is they had seen the risen Jesus. He broke into their lives in the most groundbreaking way imaginable. And everyone had to know, first in Jerusalem, then throughout Judea, then to other countries. And the followers of Jesus began a movement that changed the world. As others embraced the message of Jesus' resurrection, they began to embrace his teachings. which were just as groundbreaking. Teachings like the fact that women and children had value, not popular in the ancient world, where women and children were considered property. But the followers of the risen Savior remember that he said, "Let the children come to me." That was groundbreaking. Jesus invited women to be his followers. No other rabbi did that. It was groundbreaking. The movement took care of the sick and healed people. They cared for the poor. They embraced outcasts. They preached love of enemies. They invited foreigners and people of other races to join their churches, and they called them brothers and sisters. Groundbreaking. And so this Easter of 2017, 2,000 years since Jesus rose from the dead, he has more followers in more places than any time in history. All because he did what he said he would. And because Jesus rose, you can too. Easter can be groundbreaking for you and every single person you know. You know, the mortality rate in our country is still hovering at 100%. Death is inevitable. That's the bad news. The good news is you have nothing to fear when you join your life to the life of Jesus Christ. And all you have to do is simply believe that he died and rose from the dead for you. In just a couple moments, I'm going to invite you to renew your baptismal promises. And essentially, these promises profess that you believe that Jesus came and died so you could have eternal life. If suddenly today, this Easter, this has all clicked for you in a way that it hasn't before, or if this is the first time you've heard it and believe, when I sprinkle you with holy water, make the sign of the cross and then say to God quietly, "I believe that Jesus died and rose for me." As simple as that. I believe that Jesus died and rose for me. Easter was the most groundbreaking event in all of human history. This Easter, all you have to do is receive it into your history.